It is indeed a pleasure to have this privilege to play here for you. We intend to give you a very fine program, so just settle back, relax, and enjoy the moment.
Good morning. Good morning, good morning, good Friday morning. This camera really doesn't want to focus. But good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Mic'd Up. Hey, Jessica. Jessica, you were on my mind this morning because given the subject matter that we're going to have to talk about, I had to really start digging into police violence, ooh, hold on, y'all. Lordy. Oh, and pardon me, I have my bands in. So if you're distracted, like what's going on with her smile? I have my bands in, which I should be wearing like every waking moment, but I don't. But yeah, good morning. Given what we're going to be talking about this morning, I definitely have to bone up on a lot more police violence literature, police violence, just commentary, authorship, reporting, to help contextualize what's going on. We're going to talk about the Rock Hill arrest. We touched on it a little bit yesterday, but we're going to really go in. Also going to catch up on Tim Scott's latest police reform, bipartisan kabuki theater thing. Good morning, Jessica. Good morning, Meg. Good morning, Whiskey Neat. And I really wish this camera would stop focusing on I got to get a new webcam. Cause it's just not. Y'all see my pinky nail broke off. There we go. There's my face. Okay. Yeah. So we're going to talk about some real sensitive issues to make that weird pivot regarding police violence. And also, I mean, it's the news. Good morning, D. Good morning. Good morning on Twitch. If you're on Facebook, say good morning. That's the only way I know you're there. If you're watching on Facebook, say good morning. Shout out to you all if you're watching on YouTube. Shout out to all 2 viewers on YouTube. But seriously, we've got the Derek Chauvin. His sentence will be announced today. The judge will determine his sentence for murdering George Floyd brutally by leaning on his neck and back for damn near 10 minutes. So we'll talk about that, but I try to keep things Charleston local, but of course, if things impact things that occur, significant events, crimes and whatnot, we're going to explore those things as well. So let's just go ahead. Good morning on Facebook. Good morning. Say hi. Don't be shady. I'm joking. All right. So here we go. Let me switch it up. And again, real quick, as the beginning of the live stream communicated, trigger warning, content warning. We'll be discussing police violence. We'll be discussing police murder in some aspects, as you know, what pertaining to the Chauvin trial. We'll be discussing a lot of violence that impacts Black people, Black bodies. So this is a trigger warning, a content warning. And also I want to say this again, for when I've covered the Jason Cooper story, when I've covered Jamal Sutherland, when I've talked about the James Britt murder at the hands of the police after his after being shot with ketamine, I don't think it's great to always share imagery that involves police violence. I think sharing it for clicks and whatnot, not to say that everyone who shares or posts these incidents are doing that, but I want to be very mindful, and it's important, especially in a place like Charleston, which really does not hold enough space for the trauma that Black people have endured, the trauma of anti-Black racism and how it manifests, and how we just encounter anti-Black racism in so many ways. So it's important for me to frame that what we'll be discussing. What's up, AJ on Facebook? It's important for me to tell you all that don't look at these incidents. Don't look at these instances of Black people, Black men, women, girls, boys. Do not look at these incidents lightly. Don't take it for granted. This is not normal. This is not okay. The type of violence we see from the police department in Rock Hill is not okay. It's not right. There's no way you have to subdue a man the way they did over some marijuana and maybe a traffic violation. Use of force. I've been very vocal about use of force. We have to stop normalizing police that let me see. That police warrior mentality. Shout out Jessica. This is what I'm going to dig into this weekend. We've got to stop normalizing police responding to traffic violations and or the suspicion of a misdemeanor. Stop responding to it as if you're on a battlefield, as if you're in a war zone, right? And it seems like when it comes to black bodies or marginalized bodies, disabled people, poor people, it seems as if the police they're in warrior cop mode. So if you're a warrior, right? If you're a warrior, that means that everyone that's not you, that's not in your uniform, is a potential enemy combatant. And that's just a really, really horrible way to approach maintaining law and peace and order and all that other crap. All right, so yeah, we're going to get into that. So let's just go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and switch. First, we're going to hop into the headlines. The headlines here, there's an important headline here on the Post and Courier. Not really uber interested in the admiral's old Navy house renovated. Not Old Navy, but yeah, it says Old Navy base. Now dream venue for weddings. Right? Yeah, I'm not interested in that. And it looks like a plantation house to me. Yeah, and folks love to come down here, and especially if there's moss hanging and live oak trees and these columns. So I don't care about that. MUSC enforcing vaccine deadline. That's interesting. This story right here, though, over here to the right, Governor McMaster defends jobless aid. As you know, jobless benefits, they end today, I think. Jobless aid, he's ending it early along with over 20 other governors, Republican governors in the country. I think we're at 25 Republican governors total, 25 Republican governors total. Let's click on this real quick, and then we're going to bounce out and get into this Rock Hill incident. But let's click on this real quick and let's take a look at it, a little closer look. How do you get this ad off? These ads are everything. All right, Columbia. This is written by Jamie Lovegrove. Shout out to Jamie Lovegrove. With federal pandemic unemployment benefits set to end in South Carolina in the coming days, Governor Henry McMaster justified his decision to cut off payments early as a way to encourage the state's residents to get back to work. After speaking at a career fair in Columbia on June 24th, McMaster said that there is a wide array of job openings available for people who previously had been receiving weekly payments of $300 on top of state unemployment benefits, which Congress approved during the coronavirus pandemic as a way to help people make it through job losses. All right. So this is a quote from McMaster. I've heard from business owners and employers around the state as well as in other states, and they're all saying the same thing. We don't want to be paying people for not working, McMaster says. And that's not how that. So I'm gonna stop there. So because when McMaster speaks, you need to make sure you contextualize it. You need to make sure you break it down. People are not being paid to stay home. A lot of these jobs that are not being filled are low-paying jobs or jobs that don't offer benefits, jobs that don't really cover the cost of things like childcare and other things that might arise for working class folk. South Carolina is very anti-labor force, anti-worker, and very pro-business. So a lot of what you see from McMaster in terms of legislation, and a lot of what you hear from McMaster in terms of sound bites will generally be a little love song, a little whispering of sweet nothings in the ear of the business class, in the ear of those who are wealthy. Thank you, D, for gifting a sub. Thank you. Appreciate the support. But yeah, so a lot of the things you hear from McMaster is just him. I'm gonna use an old term, as old as hell, pitching woo, pitching woo to the to the business sector. And the only thing that really what you've seen from both Nikki Haley and from McMaster, you've seen an emphasis placed on just in generating revenue for the state, and typically that revenue generation comes at a cost to the job force. Whiskey Knee on Twitch, you just dropped a comment in the chat. You said, and governors continue to, the food and beverage hospitality, right? They continue to just mess with, I'm going to say the F word eventually probably today, as governors continue to F with food and bev and hospitality. Cuomo in New York and Pennsylvania, etc., without warning, eliminated to-go cocktails. Really? They eliminated to-go cocktails, which has been, 9.5 to 15% of restaurant bar profits. No warning. Yeah, that's real. And see, that's the thing. Good morning, Debbie on Facebook. And that's the thing I think is worth, I like hearing that. And I know, Mayor, that, did I say it wrong? No, wait. Whiskey Neat. I know you're in food and bev, and I know you work hard, and I love hearing your perspective. And I think that's what I want to hear. I want to hear from diverse business ownership. I want to hear from innovators, not just the same like manufacturing, the same like right-leaning business owners. I want to hear from folks from all sides of the issues to add nuance. And I think you're not going to get that from, you're not going to get that a lot here in the state of South Carolina, unfortunately, and until the businesses start speaking up and really like, hey, we're a business too. I think that's what I'm looking for a lot when I when I hop on Instagram and I start really venting about the businesses that we like, that seem to espouse our values, that seem to share our values, that seem to say the right things, all the right things on like Instagram, or say all the right things, regarding social justice or Black Lives Matter. Good morning, Quadjo. Good morning on Facebook. I am also waiting to see more of this business class speak up. Like I would say this. I'll give it to Josh over at Zabal Biscuit. Like, Josh is always engaged city council. Josh has written op-eds. He's been very vocal about how certain legislation or policies or practices impact his business. And I think I don't always agree with Josh, but I have an affection for Josh. I have an affection for his family. Shout out D. I love D, his partner. But like I don't always like see where Josh is, right? But I get it, and I respect his point of view because I know it's one it comes from a certain experience. And I'd love to hear more business owners kind of just speak up. And you don't even have to be left leaning. Like, I just want to hear, hey, you know what? But this is difficult. But this is, just add nuance to this, especially when it's talking about jobless benefits and whatnot. I just would love to hear more diverse and a set of opinions from the business sector in Charleston and throughout the state. AJ, on Facebook, you said, funny how he pushed workers back to work with no mention of increasing wages in the state. Absolutely, right? And we're watching that right to work movement, right? We know that the infrastructure bill, like, there seems to be some agreement now, bipartisan agreement. We'll get into that too. And I believe some of that infrastructure legislation was supposed to impact right to work in South Carolina. We know that Nancy Mace has been responding to that at recent events where she's been here in the Low Country. So we're going to watch what this recent development with infrastructure, we're going to watch how that's going to impact our state status. But you're right, AJ, in terms of the state wages in South Carolina, it's one of the reasons why I never really tried hard to get to be employed here in the state, like to reestablish a career. One of the reasons is the wages are just so horribly Not competitive. All right, Quadro, you say something on Facebook. You say a great point. There are businesses that are on point as it relates to values and should speak out to counter this narrative. Absolutely. And Quadro, you went on to say perhaps that should be our next move, increase wages. Oh, absolutely. We got to watch that infrastructure legislation and see what comes out of that, and see if there's any type of momentum, or see if there's any type of, not momentum, if there's anything we can build upon or organize around coming out of that leads to changes here, leads to more changes in the state. Yeah, for sure. I'm going to hop out of there now, and let's go ahead and jump right into this right here. So this made headlines yesterday, and there's additional news and coverage regarding Tim Scott, Cory Booker, and a host of other bipartisan leaders in the Senate. As I alluded to, I took the word punt from this political piece. I said that today's stream would talk about police violence in Rock Hill. We're going to get to that, but also how Tim Scott punted, essentially. There's something about this bipartisan dance, y'all. It's not just okay, they're trying to exhaust every avenue to make sure that they include everyone in these larger decisions being made. That's not it. Y'all know this, right? And there is a term, I can't find it right now in my head. I'm searching for it. There is a term outside of, hey Kia, there's a term, not just the kabuki theater as I always call it, right? But there is a term to describe this type of performative bipartisanship that is also designed to okay, let's run out the clock. Let's kind of stymie this, because dude's been working on this for a minute, and I got the receipts on that. Dude's been working on this for a minute, and there's value in keeping this thing active. There's value in keeping this issue just constantly bringing it up every so often, and it's just very curious to me. I find it very curious that these corporate Democrats, Cory Booker, Joe Biden, these corporate Democrats and these staunch Republicans, these ads are wild. These ads are so aggressive. These staunch conservatives, it's really wild that all of them this week are talking about or overemphasizing bipartisanship. And it's really unsettling how much they are continuously beating a drum, because that's not, as some on the left have pointed out, bipartisanship doesn't just mean the Republicans and the Democrats in the Senate or in the House, them getting along, it doesn't mean just R's and D's finding common ground. Bipartisanship means what do the constituents want? What do your mix of constituents want? What do people in swing districts want? What do common ground among the voting public is also bipartisanship. It's not just about what the lawmakers agree on. It's what the public wants. And I think we've been got this dynamic wrong, that we treated Tim Scott, a Lindsey Graham, a Nancy Mace, a Joe Cunningham. We treat these folks when they're in office as if they're celebrities and they're doing things that impact us. No, we should be lobbying and pushing for, we as the voting base should be pushing for them to do what we need. And that to me is more reflective of bipartisanship, not this game that they're playing to make both sides look so unoffensive. And they're helping each other. And that's the other thing I want y'all to understand. They're helping each other, right? They a lot of the stuff you see when you see them opposing each other, some folks don't like each other. For the most part, a lot of that shit is WWE. A lot of stuff is just wrestling. It's just wrestling, it's all at act to me. Let me see if there's one thing. AJ on Facebook, you said South Carolina pushes back to the McMaster situation. You said South Carolina pushes the blame for wages on the federal level, but South Carolina doesn't take a states' rights approach to increasing wages. You're right. They forfeit all that. They leave that states' rights thing alone when it comes to wages and whatnot. But yeah, so let me hop into a video that helps frame this movement, the latest movement on on this bipartisan police reform, and then we'll get to Rock Hill. And then, wait, hold on one second. Who can't see the chat? I don't know what's going on. Y'all, can y'all see the chat? I can see the chat fine on Twitch. Is everything cool? Let me know if there's a large. Hey, Justin, can you see the chat? I don't know. I don't know what's going on, y'all. But hopefully it'll work out. Let me know. I know it's like a delay, but let me know. AJ, you would want to say funny how Tim Scott. Let me read this comment. Some message is not showing. Okay, I don't know what that is. I don't know, Kia. Oh, you can see Justin. I don't know, Kia. I think you had some problems before, but I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. So I don't know, D, and I don't know how y'all watching or what device you're on. Thank you. That is weird. I'll definitely, okay. I don't know what was going on. But AJ over on Facebook, you said it's funny how Scott always seems to use Booker as his black friend when it comes to appearing bipartisan. Exactly. That was strategic. And remember when Kamala Harris was in the Senate, Kamala was in there too. I ain't gonna speculate too much. Jazz Johnson says y'all reboot. Yep. Kia, you said reboot. Jazz Johnson said the same thing. Go back out, log back in. Thank you, Jazz, for watching, and thank you. But to your point, AJ, you're right. It's like he thinks that there's something important for him to seem approachable. Yep. Scott is the conservative right-wing hack who is the talking head and only wants to seem only his blackness is very uncomfortable, and I know that there are not a lot of black representation, conservative representation, right? We know there are black conservatives all over. We're not a monolith. Hello. But and I'm in the South, so there's actually black conservatism looks very different in the South. It might vote Democrat, but it's very black. My dad is a black conservative, if you will. But Tim Scott just seems so everything that he does is strategic. Everything that he does is strategic. And so let me just read a little bit more from this political piece, and then we're going to move to the video. All right. So it says lawmakers punt deadline for bipartisan police reform deal. Right. They agreed on a framework, but it's nothing. It's activity versus achievement, looking busy and not really getting nothing done, right? Negotiators have struggled to find compromise on key issues like restrictions on use of force. I'm gonna keep talking about use of force, y'all. Y'all gotta lift it up. All right, lawmakers negotiating a deal on police reform have punted an end of June deadline. Remember they said the end of June, right? And plan to keep trying in July. They announced on Thursday. After months of working, let me make this a little bit bigger so folks can see this on the screen. All right. After months of working in good faith, we have reached an agreement on a framework. We have reached an agreement on a starting point. That's crazy. And look, he says, after months of working in good faith, right? Now, this is what? Cory Booker? Big Pharma Cory Booker? Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't care if he's from New Jersey. Not a fan. Tim Scott and Rep. Karen Bass. Shout out Karen Bass. So she picked up where Kamala Harris left off, right? California. So that's strategic as well. So coastal states, coastal Democratic, left-leaning states, and then here you go, a red southern state led by a black man. That's all strategic. Even one black woman, one black man, coastal states, Democratic leaning, and then here comes Tim Scott, right? All right, so it says after months of working in good faith. And we're going to bounce out of that. I'm going to actually close that out, and I'm going to, let me see. Oh, this was just some NPR coverage here. NPR, like I said, this was the development that happened last night or happened yesterday. So there's lots of headlines. We don't need to go there, but I want to play this. All right, just for a couple of minutes, and then I'm gonna pause it, and then might go back. Let me see.
Put our hands completely around this issue and start to deal with it once and for all.
And just one other thing, we saw a report late today. Senator Tim Scott, Republican of South Carolina, who's been very involved in negotiations over police reform legislation.
Yep,
the George
you're
Floyd,
right, 100% right.
Justice in Policing Act. He's saying today that they look like it looks like they're close to an agreement. How much difference will it make if that legislation is passed?
Well, we need it to pass. One, we need to rebuild trust between the police, the communities that they police. But two, we need to have accountability and transparency in our policing. We know that the overwhelming majority of police out there sacrifice to make sure that our communities are safe and that they do a good job. But for those that are not good police officers, we have to have a way to hold them accountable and be transparent about it. And so I think that it is a very important. I hope the senator is right, and I think that it
Speaking
can
of Tim
only,
Scott,
help between trust between police and communities.
Cedric Richmond, Senior Advisor to President Biden, thank you very much for talking with us.
Thank you.
And now for a different perspective on President Biden's plan and its impact on police.
so this is what's important. Now, DeRay McKesson, yeah, y'all know how I feel about, like, we'll call them blue check activists or professional activists. There's some very valid critique of their voices weighing in on a host of issues, especially around the police murder, police brutality. But I will say this: I found DeRay McKesson's a lot in the past, well, I would say several months specifically, around the time of the Chauvin trial, the Ma'Khia Bryant murder. DeRay McKesson, and of course he's been working on this issue for years. I found his data points and his research to be really exceptional and to be valuable. And I love the fact that we have a DeRay McKesson or someone of that ilk come and help you understand better, or look at the Biden agenda regarding policing in America. Look at that. Look, because you understand that Biden and his administration is also helping Cory Booker and Bass, fill out, push. Booker and Bass are not moving as independent. They're not moving as independent figures, right? So a lot of what they're saying is in alignment with the Biden administration. Got a little tongue tied there, but let's listen to DeRay, because I think it's important to hear another perspective.
Reform. I'm joined by DeRay McKesson. He's a co-founder of.
Real quick, thank you, Kia. Oh, okay. I didn't. Wow. Oh, okay. Thank you for subscribing. Maybe I have subscriber only chat. Maybe that feature's on. So thank you. Jared might have did that. But thank you for your subscription. I appreciate it.
Of Campaign Zero, which aims to end violent acts by police. DeRay McKesson, welcome back to the NewsHour. What do you make of this multi-pronged, multi-part set of proposals by President Biden?
So in some ways, there is some good news here, right? That there's a focus on manufacturers, there's a focus on gun dealers in a way that we haven't seen before. Because like I know, that Black people are not building guns in their backyard. We're not making them. We're not, they're coming from somewhere.
Come on.
And focusing on manufacturers and dealers is actually a really good thing. We always get nervous when people talk about gun control because we don't want guns to become the new drugs, right? That people get so freaked out that all of a sudden we create these mandatory minimums. We believe as a matter of public policy that putting people in jail is the best way to deal with users, when the reality is, just like drugs, people are not making cocaine in their backyard in the hood. They're not doing it. It's coming from somewhere. So that's the first part. But then you talked with Cedric, there's a lot of it that is troubling. It is not convincing that the police need more money to do their jobs. And when you pressed about how will there be any accountability on the money, you didn't get an answer, right?
Right. I didn't play that part.
So we see this a lot with the federal government. The federal government, there's a law that requires the police departments to, at the basic level, say who they kill. And only 40% of police departments report that data to the federal government, and there's no accountability. So
remember during the Jamal Sutherland coverage or discussions that I would facilitate here, remember what I talked about, especially in this state, people die at the hands of the police, and that data is seldom reported. Body cam footage is seldom released. And also we know that people are dying in custody once they get to the jails, at the county level, people are dying in jails and in prisons, and that's not being reported. This accountability piece is huge and critical, and these are the things that are not really receiving enough attention when we're talking about reform. I'm an abolitionist. I don't believe in reform. I think that we should be steadily working to minimize the police's presence in our schools and our communities, and we should be redistributing, funds and resources to actual entities that are trained and designed to address systemic ills, right? So I don't really believe in reform. That's what my starting point is. I don't have faith in reform. But when the reforms are this weak, it even makes it even more important for me not to, like, it makes my abolitionist values, it makes them even, I guess, stronger. But yeah, there's no accountability. I think I paused at the right place. But I invite you, this was from June 23rd, so a couple days ago. This was the Wednesday PBS News Hour. Go check it out. Hit it up around the 12-minute mark, and then I'll go into this conversation with DeRay, where he continues to give you stats and data that I find very valuable, and understanding what's coming out of the Biden administration in terms of their response to much-needed police reform. Now, getting back to Tim Scott, right? Getting back to Scott, Booker, and Bass, right? And getting back to this issue. Let me do this. I'm gonna back out a little bit, I think.
Need more money to do their jobs.
No.
And when you pressed about, like, how will there be any accountability on the money?
Okay. So I'm gonna go back a little bit, and we got a lot of videos to get to, especially this Rock Hill, again, content warning, trigger warning, police violence and brutality. But I wanted to go kind of get back in the time machine a little bit. So remember when I already closed the window with the Politico article? Remember when Booker was like, oh, after months of good faith talks, no, y'all been doing this. Y'all been doing this for
Carolina. Do not
look at this. Look at this, y'all.
Democratic Senator Cory Booker of New Jersey and Republican Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina
They've been talking about this since Charlie Rose was on the damn CBS News.
do not have a lot in common politically, except they are the only African Americans currently serving in the United States Senate, both elected. They came together Thursday to visit the museum for the very first time.
See, and all this is orchestrated. So, right, and this serves both Booker and Scott. Right, this helps with image. This helps with, Tim Scott is slated to is running for, it's going to probably run for president along with a number of others. I think Pompeo is doing his thing behind the scenes and not so much behind the scenes. But we know that this all is designed to make them more appealing.
The senator spoke to us about growing up as African Americans, as well as their hopes for the future.
And I just think it's disingenuous. I don't think it's real. The reason why I pulled that up is like, it's not just months of discussion, y'all. It's years of discussion. This clip is 4 years old. This clip is from 2016. Like, so this is like, y'all have been like drawing this out. And meanwhile, in Tim Scott's state, meanwhile, you got Jamal Sutherland, you had the Jason Cooper, right? The Jason Cooper, who was a resident of North Charleston, Tim Scott, your roots, right? Meanwhile, you've been doing this shit for years, this dog and pony show for years. And meanwhile, what up, Chico the Man? Good morning. I appreciate, okay, real quick with the subscriber bit. That's Twitch. Like, Twitch in terms of like, this platform is designed to help me monetize. I'm on this platform to help me monetize what I do. I can't do this work without y'all support. So I just want to make that clear. So if the settings are like to interact with the chat, and it's all like you have to subscribe, y'all, I really appreciate it, but I can't do this without support. And so that's what it's designed to do. And I don't take for granted that y'all make the decision and make the sacrifice to subscribe to my channel. So I just want to say that. And I look forward to you participating in the chat. Thank you. It doesn't go unrecognized. So I just wanted to say that for those who are watching on Twitch. Don't leave and go to Facebook. I like you right here in Twitch. I can see you. Thank you, Chico the Man. Good morning. Okay, B-Man, what did you say over here before we transition? B-Man, wow, only 40% reported. Exactly. That's fucked. Exactly. It's also, you want to say, it also shows how little our leaders care about the issue. They don't even have a political will to make sure that they have all the data. Absolutely. And to have all the data means accountability, right? Right? To have all the data means real true accountability, and that's what we were fighting for. So as Tim Scott is drawing this out and making sure that he's photographed and video, you know, he's caught on film at historically black institutions. He's making sure that you see him linked arm in arm with Bass and Booker and really we need something to happen. When are y'all going to legislate? When are y'all going to actually move toward actual reforms? And I don't understand. Last summer, right? Should have been like, okay, we got to get something done. This is out of control. Then when you saw the outcome of the election, it should have been like, let's go. Then take it to the South. Take it right back to South Carolina. There are a number of deaths that folks so many folks have died or have been injured at the hands of the police and law enforcement in South Carolina. It's time to go. Tim Scott, why are you punting after Jamal Sutherland? You should be the most vocal out of the trio because of that case, but you won't be, right? But you won't be. Thank you, D. I appreciate your support. So I wanted to freeze. I opened up 2 windows of YouTube so I can play the video, the viral video that shows. So basically, it was Ricky Price was stopped by police. I'm gonna play the first 4 minutes. Okay, I think I could do it right here. Ricky Price was stopped by police for whatever reason. They say lane violation, or at least that's what the person filming is saying. And I believe his brother comes in. I forgot his name. Another Price brother comes in. You could see Ricky Price waving for folks to come and help him at one point in the video. And I believe this is his brother. These are the Price brothers. And he was pulled over by police. He signals for help. Another young lady that's filming, and it sounds like 2 young ladies at the very least in the car filming this entire incident. But that's what you're going to see. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to narrate it like Charleston PD. I'm not doing that. I just wanted to set up the tape of what we're watching, but I'll let the footage speak for itself.
They searching his car and all.
So that's Ricky Price right there, y'all, with the police. 1, 2, at least 2 cop cars, 2 police in here, and look how I'm not trying to dwell on stereotypes. And well, you know what? I'm not a police officer, so I can contextualize this video. And we can also let it speak for itself because it's not edited. But just look at look at how they're dressed. It just screams. It screams like warrior soldier. Yo, thank you for the support on Twitch.
Look at this shit.
I don't know, they were just searching his car. I guess they found something. I don't know.
That's crazy, y'all. Look at this shit. Yeah.
Just stick with it, y'all. Stick with it.
What are they locking you up for? Where?
They say they found weed in the car.
That is a fine. That's supposed to be a fine. That's crazy. I hope y'all seeing this. This is what Rock Hill do, y'all. We at the store and they locking him up. They must got it in for you. They got it in for him every time, ain't it? Cause it's just a fine.
You hear what she's saying?
That's crazy.
Chill the fuck out.
Y'all
for
look
real,
at this
Jessica.
shit. Look at Rock Hill. This how they do you.
Exactly.
What they pull you
exactly,
over for?
D.
For nothing. cross over a lane over this way. Y'all, look at this shit. They going through his car and all, y'all. This how Rocky will do you.
This accent makes me feel like I'm listening to my cousins, which makes it kind of even like worse.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Like it feels like family talking.
He going all through the man car.
Sound like my cousin.
Yeah, that's Rick. This is Rick.
So that's Ricky Price.
They dirty now. Rocky is so dirty. They said they didn't even have no probable cause to search his car. They just pulled him over, said he crossed over. This is a 4-way intersection right here. Rick, just be respectful to him. That's all. That's what they want you to do. Step out your character.
So he went from standing by the police to being handcuffed. And so something was said.
They stop for they been not killed you, honey.
Yeah.
Don't even say nothing to him. I got it recorded. This how Rocky will do you, y'all. Look how they act. I'm finna record this shit.
So they at a gas station? Okay. So the brother came over.
What is he doing to him?
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that use of force. Look at that use of force.
He ain't doing nothing, y'all. I don't
look
care.
At her. Look at
this.
Look.
Look at this, y'all.
Did you see that female cop reach for her gun? Or reach for at least for her belt? You'll see that? So this is the second Rice brother from what I understand, right? And you see this female cop right here? Watch this female cop on the left. Watch this. This is disturbing. Again, content warning, trigger warning. This is not normal. This is not right. This is not how bodies should be treated. This is not how black bodies should be treated. Look at her though. She at least grabs her waistline. I don't know if it's her gun.
On camera. I got it on camera. He ain't doing nothing, y'all. I don't care.
See right there?
Look at this. Look at this, y'all.
Shoot first mentality. Look at this.
Oh my God.
Look at this. Look at them. And got the dog out. Where the dog come from?
Y'all, look, he not doing
Where the dog
nothing.
come from?
Oh my God. Oh my God. Somebody come help them. He ain't even look at him, y'all. Look at the police.
Look at this.
Look at the police.
Look at all those police.
Travis is a good boy. He is a good boy. Look how they tasing him, y'all. I'm getting closer. Look how they beating his ass.
Look at this. Look at this.
He ain't even doing nothing.
Unarmed. What, 4 or 5 of them?
God.
This is ridiculous.
Oh my God.
Good morning, Mev.
Him.
This is crazy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Get off of him.
Look at this.
He's beating him. Oh my God. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. They locking him up for nothing. Y'all, look at this shit. I'm glad I got it on live. Y'all dirty. Y'all dirty. He dirty, y'all.
You can go to jail too. That's what he just said. You can go to jail too.
They gonna go down for
That's
this,
what.
y'all.
See, look at their response.
Oh my God, y'all, look at his face. Oh my God, look at his face, y'all. Y'all wrong for that. You going down? I'm going to court with you. Look at his face, y'all.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there. It's too much. That's like the first 4 minutes. It's a 15-minute video. It's everywhere. It's on Facebook. It was captured initially on Facebook. I believe it's everywhere. It's on YouTube apparently. I'm watching it with y'all. This is just so graphic, so wrong, so wrong. Again, I'm gonna lift up the book that Jessica, you hit me up. You hooked me up with this book. This is Rise of the Warrior Cop. I held this up at the beginning of the. Shout out to y'all. Thank you for the subs, yo. Thank you. It's had a hype train come through on Twitch. It says Rise of the Warrior Cop. This is written by Radley Balco. Jessica also put me on to Radley Balco's reporting about SLED in this state, how corrupt and how unethical SLED is, how it's not an independent investigative body. And so Radley Balco reported extensively from 2015 to I think 2017, 2018 on policing in South Carolina. And so this is the militarization of America's police forces. Let me see if there's anything descriptive on the back that I could read. Okay, it says Radley Balco is an award-winning investigative journalist who writes about civil liberties, police, prosecutors, and broader criminal justice system. He's currently a writer, investigative reporter with Washington Post. I wanted to read more about the book. The Economist says this about the book. Mr. Balco manages to avoid the cliches of both right and left and provokes genuine outrage at the misuse of state power in its most brutal and unaccountable form. And so I'm gonna dig into this weekend to help me to communicate and talk about these issues with the public, on whatever platform I have. So that what I just saw felt just like warrior cop, soldier cop. Like look at how they're dressed, look how they go about this. I know stereotypes can be tricky, stereotypes can be damaging, so I don't and it's also lazy to rely upon someone what they look like. But I'm telling you, if there is a stereotype that don't feel like a stereotype, just feel like like it's just a uniform that's issued, it's this look of this cop right here that's standing up with the beard and the too tight t-shirt and the Kevlar vest and the jeans. Like, y'all are not in Abu Ghraib. Y'all are not in Kuwait. I'm not Kuwait. Y'all are not in like the Middle East. Y'all not in Iraq. Y'all not in Afghanistan. But you treat tax-paying citizens who might smoke marijuana. Marijuana is not. You finding marijuana did not warrant any of this response at all. At all. They could have had a conversation. I've seen it. I've seen some police. I've seen the police. Certain police people really try to make appeals to people. I've heard the stories firsthand from multiple men who have been pulled over, sat on the curb, handcuffed, and the police talk to them like, "Look, we found this joint in your car, dude. Here's a ticket. Y'all free to go. Be careful." Like, I've seen that, so I'm not even like, so it's possible. But it just won't. They just don't rely upon it. The go-to move is always violence. The go-to move. You saw a homegirl grip her waistline like she was about to shoot somebody, right? No, and mind you, all the while, what have we been seeing for the past year in the headlines? They don't even think. I don't even think they process that they're perpetuating the same violence that has been capturing headlines for over a year, but of course since the beginning of policing in America, right? So I wanted to y'all know we're a fan of WCNC. That's the Charlotte-based news outlet that covers, of course, Rock Hill and Charlotte, that area. I want to play some of their coverage of that video we just watched. So let's do that now.
That they found marijuana in a...
Let's rewind it real quick. I'm gonna expand it or enlarge it. Here we go.
This evening, we start with breaking news in Rock Hill, where protesters are gathering for another night of demonstrations. This all coming after video of a violent arrest circulated online, now seen by thousands.
So here's a recap of what has happened up until now. Yesterday, Rock Hill police pulled over Ricky Price for a traffic stop. Officers searching his vehicle, they say that they found marijuana and a gun. As police worked to arrest Ricky, they say that his brother Travis then tried to come and take back Ricky's things. And that's when a scuffle started, with police officers seen throwing punches before the brothers were taken into custody.
Both brothers appeared in court today. Ricky facing a number of charges, including intent to distribute drugs. His bond was denied.
How much weed
Travis
was in there?
Was charged with hindering police and was released on bond.
He just
we
showed
have live
up.
Team coverage tonight in South Carolina. We will catch up with Hunter Sines among protests in just a bit.
But first, we wanted to check in with Lexi Wilson. So, Lexi, police just gave an update a few minutes ago. What did they say?
Well, Vanessa, the biggest takeaway is that conducting an active investigation.
Hold on one second.
Does take time. They did tell us that SLED is also now investigating the incident, and 2 officers have been put on administrative leave. Now, we're also told that there is police body cam footage that also shows a different story. This is the dramatic video that's triggered a wave of controversy.
Oh my God!
A violent confrontation in Rock Hill.
This is ridiculous.
They locked him up for nothing.
According to police, during the stop, drugs and a gun were found in Ricky Price's car.
Okay.
Ricky's brother showed up and tried to step in and gather Ricky's belongings. That's when things got heated and punches were thrown.
Okay, let me just say something real quick. Because I know that there are people, and I don't really like to talk to people who have this willful ignorance or who are just wedded to, well, the cops say this, so I'll take the cops at their word. For those who don't believe that cops lie, for those who don't understand that policing in America is profoundly just broken, even though it's doing exactly what it's designed to do. But I'm going to use broken for the purpose of this conversation. For those who are struggling with that, understand that I don't care if they found a whole meth lab in the fucking back seat. You don't get to treat human beings like this. I don't care what they found in the car. I don't care how many bricks, kilos, or anything. There's a way for you to do your job as a law enforcement officer, as a peace officer. There's a way for you to do your job that does not require you to brutalize another person. And get this. I was joking about this, but it's serious. I grew up when Cops started, right? The show Cops. Cops is all about what, y'all? What's the opening credits of Cops? What do we see with Cops? The show Cops. Bad boys, what you want, what you gonna do? You see people running from the police. Police, you should know enough to anticipate that people are not really going to be wanted. They're not going to want to be pulled over. When they see your lights in the rearview mirror, we immediately say, oh shit, what the fuck, right? When you pull us over, when you ask us to get out, to exit our vehicles, when you put people in handcuffs, when you have an SRO take a student from class to the officer, to an officer's room, or to the principal's, like, these are not desirable. These are not fun instances. So people are going to not want to be apprehended. They're going to want to not be in custody. So I would think there's like an anticipation of, we're going to have some kind of resistance, whether it be verbal, whether it might even be like whatever it is, the resistance. They have to learn how to de-escalate. They can. We've seen them do it when they want to do it and with populations they deem valuable. We've seen them demonstrate restraint. But when it comes to Black Body, it's go time. I don't care what they found in the car. I don't care if Ricky hit him up with F-bombs. This is not right. This is not right. And I'm just tired of people making excuses for cops and for this type of gratuitous violence. This use of force is unacceptable. How many police officers, because it's both, police officers, do you really need to apprehend someone? And why can't you de-escalate the situation? Right? Let me get to the chat, because Courtney's in the chat. Good morning, Courtney. Let me get to the chat real quick, because this is y'all are lighting it up, and I love it. All right, so Jessica, you also telling me about the Cadaver King and the County Dentist. Is another. Yes, I got the book over there too. I got both. Of course, you sent me both books. I'm gonna get on that one too. I gotta get in this Warrior Cop. Thank you for lifting up the Cadaver King and the Country Dentist. I think I said it wrong yesterday. The Cadaver King and the Country Dentist. I know I said it wrong yesterday. I think I said the Coroner King or something. B-Man, you said we do whatever we want here. It's almost, it feels that way, right? In terms of the police. D, let me see. D responded to someone else earlier. Yeah, he's in a wheelchair. It is sad when he's in his court appearance in a wheelchair. All right, Courtney on Twitch, you say here, I just had the guiltiest, most shitty feeling. I thought at least they lived. Yeah. You're thinking like, oh, at least he survived, right? So you had the guiltiest and most shittiest feeling. You thought immediately, what came to your mind, Courtney, was at least they lived. They both lived to talk about it. They both lived and survived this encounter with police. You went on to say, like, damn, that's a bare minimum. They survived a traumatic event that should have never happened. Couldn't have said it better, Courtney. Thank you for dropping that in the chat. Yeah, administrative leave is weak. Yes, whiskey need. Yeah. Jonic James, good morning. Okay, am I breaking up? I look good over here. I don't know what's going on. I hope, okay. Then y'all let me know if I'm breaking up, because I'm look good over here. Got green, everything's good. Feel like you need to watch it 5 more times to understand how it went there. So Jessica, that's my whole thing too. Like, I feel like I gotta when you see Ricky, you see him first talking to the officers, they look kind of like casual and non-threatening, and then it just escalates. And I understand, like, if the cops say, yo, we found this in the car, if they didn't plan it, and then we have to admit, it could have been, I don't know, but it had to be okay. They say, yo, we found this in the car, but why couldn't how could the conversation, I don't know. I just feel like there's a lot of cops there too. That don't help. I don't know. It just goes left so quick. And then when you think back to those kids in Florida that assembled guns and shot at cops for hours, they did not kill those kids. They didn't kill those kids. And yes, they had to subdue the one girl, but they made sure not to hit Center Mass, it looks like. Right? So they subdued her to stop the shooting, but they were begging and pleading for her to stop. Right? There was there was a desire to de-escalate and to get them to put down the guns. And here you have what seems to be unarmed people being manhandled in this way. It's ridiculous. Whiskey, you went on to say in the chat and here on Twitch, especially with cops creating their own interpretation of the law on searching and apprehending. Exactly. Use of violence and arresting versus fines as they continue to show this on camera. Absolutely. Excellent points being made in the chat on Twitch. Excellent points being made. Yeah. Yeah. And like y'all don't understand, like I think people act like, oh, stop resisting, like that, right? And he doesn't, Kia, to your point, it doesn't look like they were resisting. It's like there's going to be a tension, there's going to be a response to apprehension, especially if you feel it's unjust, especially if you feel it's unwarranted and over the top, right? So I wanted to okay, so that's some of the reporting. I guess let's just finish this up.
This should not happen in Rock Hill. It should not happen in this state. It should not happen.
So here come the lawmakers. Here come our lawmakers from Columbia.
That's when things got heated and punches were thrown.
This should not happen in Rock Hill. It should not happen in this state. It should not happen in this country.
Not long after the video went viral, people protested the incident, calling for action. At one point, someone lit a tree on fire.
We do not appreciate the injustice of our men and of our women of the community.
The brother's family and attorney gathered outside the Moss Justice Center Thursday. Attorney Justin Bamberg says Ricky is now in a wheelchair and has a broken nose after the violent arrest.
There's no reason for the level of force we saw used.
I'll save my commentary on Mr. Bamberg. I'll save it for later.
On that video yesterday.
Shout out to Taisha Aiken.
There's no reason for that.
According to Rock Hill Police, an internal review of the incident is being conducted. In a statement, police say the punches were necessary force for police to control the men. Still, many people are concerned.
While there's an investigation going on, he's still in jail.
Right.
These officers are still working. Why are they not on suspension or fired?
And the president of the local NAACP, she says that they've been asking for transparency from the police department, and they are getting that transparency. She's also asking that if there are any protesters out there tonight that they...
hold on, we're going to back it up. She said they are getting transparency. There was, so this was the Justin Bamberg
force
press conference. This is the beginning. We're going to play a couple minutes of this.
Bamberg, attorney with Bamberg Legal, and I'm also a state representative in South Carolina, down in House District 90. You see, there's a lot of support
down in the
here
Low Country,
today.
y'all.
There's been a lot of support ever since this incident surfaced yesterday. Ricky and Travis Price. I will go ahead and say this now. It's the only thing I'm gonna say on this part. Both of those young men have been charged criminally with various things. But one of the beautiful parts about America is that if you're a citizen here, you're innocent until proven guilty. Innocent until proven guilty.
Okay, so I want to back out because I want to cover as many clips as possible before I want to hop off. So here was there was a I think it might have been this Fox Charlotte that had the NAACP president actually on camera. Yeah.
I want to get back to that story out of Rock Hill tonight. Video of an arrest by police is spreading fast on the internet. The community fired up about whether the police conduct was warranted.
The video now has more than 62,000 views, and that number continues to grow. Fox 46 South Carolina Bureau Chief Shakir Speaks joins us now as a rally of people gather around the Rock Hill Police Department.
So this was directly following the incident. So this is This is from the 23rd. This clip is, just so you know, and this is from another news outlet. So we went from WCNC to Fox 46 in Charlotte.
Shakira, what is the atmosphere like there in the past 30 minutes?
Brian, it's the same. As you can hear, it's the same as it was at the top of the hour at 10, around 10:10. People are still out here blocking the intersection at Dave Lyle Boulevard. They're talking about getting pizzas out here. There's chants of Black Lives Matter, no justice, no peace. But let's go to that sound that I told you about his mother just being really worried. She says she doesn't understand what's going on.
I wanted to hear from his mother.
Upset. I just want to know what going on. I understand how could somebody just do this brutality to somebody's children.
A mother's words after seeing her two sons, Ricky and Travis Price, lying on the ground under several Rock Hill police officers. Police claim it was a traffic stop of a suspect they knew well, and when they searched his car, they found 2 bags of marijuana on the driver's door.
He was just kicking my son, and then
2 bags.
And then my other son, he just came and asked what happened, what was going on.
So that's when we saw the gentleman in the green shirt. I think they're going to break it down.
And then,
thank you so much for the support. I know, Jessica, that's the thing. Me and Jared going to fix the alerts so that it's not, she's not marching. Yoshi's not marching on the face in a bad way. We're going to change the prompt. Me and Jared, did I say Justin? If I said Justin, I meant Jared. We're gonna change the alerts, but I want to just tell y'all thank you so much for your support. We're gonna change the interface so that it prompts people to subscribe. I don't want a handful of followers to feel like they have to always do this, but I'm telling you that I really appreciate that, and every bit goes a long way. I got my first Twitch payout while I was away, and it really helped with bills. It helped. It helped. So I appreciate you supporting this work, and I do not take it for granted. But if we see Yoshi, y'all, it's a good thing. Despite the subject matter we're covering, if you see Yoshi doing a little dance, we'll just acknowledge it and say thank you, move forward.
The police start fighting him. I just don't understand.
Video recorded on Facebook Live shows 2 men, one in a green shirt and the other in a blue shirt. Police claim Travis in the green shirt tried to interfere and was non-compliant when asked to put his hands behind his back, and then wrestling started. Off to the side, police say they tried to help Ricky in the blue shirt remove his jewelry. But in the process, they claimed he tried to escape and hit officers several times. Once the fight hits the ground, one officer starts hitting him repeatedly.
For a young man that I saw,
y'all stop snitching on yourself in the chat.
And in 2.5 seconds, lying on the ground with his face bloody. Absolutely appalled.
Rock Hill's NAACP chapter president, Dr. Norma Gray, says she rushed over to the Rock Hill Police Department after she saw the video demanding answers.
But when you see injustice, I don't care which line you on, injustice is injustice, and that was blatant injustice. And so I immediately stepped in my NAACP role and definitely had to stand up for this young man.
Former law enforcement officer and civil rights attorney Walter Bauer says the video is still premature and very upsetting to see.
Very upsetting.
But protesters have to look at all angles.
You got to get past your emotions. You got to ask all the questions. You got to walk through the factors. First and foremost, were they lawfully detained at that moment, right? Were they under arrest at that moment? So the body cameras should be able to give us some clearer information as it relates to body positions, what was being said, what they were being detained for, and things of that nature.
Nothing they did, nothing they being detained for warranted that type of brutality. Sometimes we don't need to get wrapped around the axle of trying to just be unoffensive. Like, there's nothing, like, again, now I'm not saying like if the dude came out, throwing haymakers, if Ricky, I'm not saying that, hey, violence, I'm being real here. There's nothing that I saw in that video warranted that response. To someone else's question, I think Courtney, you had begged the question earlier, like, so why are there so many cops there? Like that, I don't understand at all. And I'm gonna say what I said yesterday too, especially the white folks who are following me and who follow me on whatever platform. When you see, if you are somewhere where you're familiar with the setting. I'm just going to say it like that. I don't know why I prefaced it like that. But look, if you see cops pulling over someone, and if your spidey sense goes off and your intuition tells you, like, this don't feel regular, this don't feel like a routine traffic stop or something, stop what you're doing if you can. If you're safe and if you're able, stop, engage directly with the person being apprehended, right? And if it's a black person, speak directly to them and say, are you good? Are you good? Are you safe? All right, engage directly with them and ask that question. All right. And also, don't be afraid to start filming when you see a police interaction that looks like this could go left real quick, right? Don't be afraid to start documenting that, because you could literally be saving someone's life. If the young lady who captured George Floyd's death, his murder on camera, told us nothing, it told us that. You could literally you could be the difference between justice or even saving someone's life by at least putting that camera on cops, because we know the cameras that they've been outfitted with, we know that they're not either going to turn them on, they're not going to turn over the footage, they're not going to turn on the volume. You know that you can't trust and rely on what they capture, or whatever they release is going to be edited, redacted, and maybe even include narration, as we've been seeing here in the Southeast a lot, right? So yeah, Tim Scott, keep us waiting. Tim Scott, Cory Booker, Miss Bass, keep us waiting on this police reform, because you know we got a lot of time. We got a lot of time. There's nothing going on here in South Carolina regarding police violence. You take your time. Yeah. All right, take your time. So this is some of the outlandish response to like police solutions. So going back to I'm gonna hit this and hit pause real quick. Going back to WCNC, this is from yesterday, right? So we're talking about police reform. Tim Scott, Cory Booker, Karen Bass have all made headlines talking about their bipartisan effort to bring about true police reform. They told us that we'd have something together by June. Now they've punted, and now they're saying, oh, it might be July. But they've agreed on a framework, which is like no news, right? So I'm going to enlarge this. And so this is from...
The department launched this new curriculum.
Look at this bull jive. To sound like my father from 1988. Look at this bull jive.
The Charlotte-Mecklenburg Police Department is seeking solutions tonight. It's adding customer experience training for its officers.
Are you fucking kidding me? Customer experience training, y'all.
With an interesting inspiration. The department launched this
Sorry
new
for cursing if you got
today,
kids.
and it's the first of its kind program based off of the customer service experiences at some major fast food, hotel,
Jessica.
and corporate businesses. WCNC Charlotte's Kendall Morris explains what the department hopes comes from this training.
No one actually likes getting pulled over when you get
Look at
caught
this, look at
speeding.
this.
But after this new customer experience training, CMPD hopes you can walk away with a more positive impression of police. This clip was suggested as I was watching the Ricky Price, the police brutality visited upon Ricky and his brother, and so this was suggested again. This was aired yesterday, y'all. Right? So I know people think that I talk a lot of shit, but this is Chick-fil-A police custom experience. And this was reported by Michaela Porter. Shout out Michaela Porter from 2020. Charleston police look to Chick-fil-A for customer service training. We don't need no cops with Coco. We don't need customer service. Excuse me, sir. Can you stop shooting us? Can you stop shooting us? And I don't know if y'all on this thing, but Chick-fil-A ain't the corporate partner I'm really feeling in policing it. Chick-fil-A ain't the if you're gonna pick a corporate partner, Chick-fil-A ain't that. And we know Chick-fil-A's customer service is unparalleled. I don't go to Chick-fil-A because of their values. Yeah, the chicken's delicious, but Boxcar Betty is slamming, and I'm good with that. Chick-fil-A, we know they have really good service, but seriously, y'all, how is this being treated seriously? How is this a real option? This to me was a joke. This feels like a fucking joke. And this came out right around the findings of the audit. So when the audit said, hey, we've got an issue with racial bias, and guess what? We got an issue with use of force, and we don't record use of force. We don't record anything. We don't retain any video footage. We just kind of let things skate. So this was their response. So they're scrambling. So I'm assuming that a number of police departments around the country are getting the memo like, yo, just tell them you're going to Chick-fil-A training. I think that's been maybe that's what's going on. So it's a Charleston Police Chief Luther Reynolds talks at a press conference. The police department is looking to improve community relations with customer service training for one of the nation's most courteous fast food chains. Yeah. Charleston police officers. So what they're going to say, please and thank you as they shoot you? They're going to say please and thank you as they pull over black drivers disproportionately compared to white drivers? You're going to say, my pleasure after you arrest me or after you pull me over and give me a fake ticket? Because they write them fake tickets, right? That quota and all that other stuff, right? All them other scandals. So you're going to just say my pleasure after that, right? Charleston police officers may soon be getting lessons in customer service from one of the nation's most courteous fast food chains, Chick-fil-A, coming off an audit, that found deficiencies in how the department treats minorities. The department reached out to Atlanta-based company asking they share staff training tips. The reason being is there a very high success rate with interpersonal skills. Are you fucking kidding me? So not only are they doing after school programming, not only are they doing summer camps, not only are they having ice cream trucks, not only are they playing basketball with our kids, they're now they're dipping into being like, what, they're gonna come up with visors and polo shirts, like police department visors, polo shirts and a headset. Come on, doing everything but what we need them to do. Show us the tape. Release the video footage without narration, without redactions, without editing. Stop killing us. Stop shooting us. Stop pulling us over disproportionately. Disclosure use of force stats information. Have an independent body oversee y'all. We need to police. Everything but what we need and want. And again, this is from when I remember saying this and I pushed back. I don't know. No, wait. I don't think my quote's not in here, is it? I don't think she saw me. Let me see. I don't think I spoke on this piece. I think I read this and then I called her. I'm like, are you serious? I think I read this and I texted her like, are you fucking serious? I think that's the extent of that conversation. So this is just outlandish. These are not real solutions. So again, this is
similar to how you feel when you get your order through the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. A trip to Chick-fil-A is inspiring a new way of enforcing the law in Charlotte.
And I understand that people think, well, we're not serving chicken sandwiches or we're not serving fries, and that's not the point. I think the whole...
It is the point. That's not the partnerships we need. That's not the partnerships we need. We need you in the community. Listening to activists, listening to folks who have designed systems where real accountability can be achieved. That's not the partnership. All right. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. So we talked about police reform. We talked about the Ricky Price. We talked about, the Rock Hill police brutality caught on film. Now we're gonna just turn the car a little bit, careen a little bit to the left or to the right. Let me just read this. Quadro on Facebook, you dropped this in the chat. I blame our own elected officials. They have black members on council in Charlotte. Yep. And Quadro, I know you're familiar being up, in that region a lot of time. You said they have black council members in Charlotte, and this is what you allow without a fight. They are not beating black people's asses because they have bad customer service. Thank you, Quadro. All right. They do it because the system and the people allow it, right? Allow and do it because the people in the system who allow and do it are racist. Absolutely. So yeah, if you have racial bias, if your audit found racial bias, going to Chick-fil-A does not solve that issue. Doesn't that? And you saying please and thank you and my pleasure as you kick my ass is not helpful. Let's head back to South Carolina real quick. Two real quick things. This is important. Where did it go? Right here. This is important.
Administration announced they've extended the eviction moratorium, giving more relief to those who have been financially.
So let me rewind it to the very tippy top.
Today, the Biden administration announced they've extended the eviction moratorium, giving more relief to those who have been financially impacted by the pandemic. News 19's Tai Wong has more on how landlords can still get the rent they're due.
The big thing is that we know landlords are hurting too, right? A lot of landlords have had to go the last 15 months maybe without receiving rent from their tenants. And a lot of them are small businesses and mom and pops. And we want to let them know that, we care about them and we want to make sure that they get paid as quickly as possible.
The Biden administration has extended the eviction moratorium to July 31st, giving relief to Americans that are still financially hurting from the pandemic.
This is crazy.
The order was expected to end on June 30th. Chris Winston is the media and market engagement manager for SC Housing, an agency that helps tenants pay for rent.
We're running 2 different housing programs, emergency housing programs for renters and for homeowners. And so we take applications, we process those applications, we help get questions answered, and then we pay landlords and lenders on behalf of those residents.
You must qualify to receive housing assistance. Some requirements are income and residency qualifications and proof of being impacted by the pandemic.
Something that we've noticed is that a lot of landlords are trying to find ways to keep their tenants in their home.
Martina Tiku is with the Columbia NAACP Housing Navigator program. She says this community-based organization connects volunteers to housing insecure individuals with the resources they need to stay in their homes.
So the Navigator program itself does not provide financial assistance, but our navigators do work closely with our clients to connect them with other financial assistance that's available.
Tiku says navigators also help clients fill out applications and follow up on behalf of the tenants.
And we just want to ensure that as many people as possible are supported through what can be a really, really difficult and isolating process. We have lots of navigators.
Do we have anything like this in Charleston, y'all? I don't know. I don't want to say that we don't, but do we have anything like this in Charleston? Man, Quadro, I see you in the chat over on Facebook. I see you, Quadro.
Navigators who are ready and trained to just support however need be.
Reporting in Columbia, Tai Wong, News 19 WLTX.
Okay. So let me go back. So I wanted to hit that up. News that impacts us directly here. I don't want to play this. It's just like Kristen Sinema gets on my nerves, but just y'all do your Googles, watch your news. Top of my mind, on top of police reform, on top of what's going on in Rock Hill, and that unrest there and police brutality. On top of mind for me is the building collapse in Miami. That really hit me hard. And the infrastructure bill. I know this all over the place, but these are things that on the news that I'm tracking nationally. The infrastructure news, watch it. I just can't watch anything. Kristen Sinema is a trigger point for me. I can't. So those are important things. The one thing I just wanted to kind of revisit was this clip. I believe it's from yesterday, or it might have been from last night, actually. Last night, and it's just a continuation of the Murdaugh incident. So I wanted to just kind of touch as many topics as possible this morning, of course, centering police violence and justice and the fight for justice for Ricky Price and his family, but wanted to just kind of hit up some of these headlines that are really important to us here in South Carolina. So I'm gonna play an update on the Murdaughs and okay, so and much of what's discussed here is what we've outlined, what we talked about and showed yesterday morning. But this was, I believe, last night's broadcast. This is WCIV Channel 4, a Sinclair station, just prefacing it, not saying that the reporters and anchor people are doing must runs and must reads or whatever right here, but just prefacing, letting you know that this is a Sinclair station.
Hampton County investigation with ties to a Carlton County double homicide. We've been telling you this week about the death of 19-year-old Stephen Smith. His body was found in Hampton County in 2015. SLED is now investigating his death after information was found in the double homicide of Paul and Maggie Murdaugh in Carlton County. They were found dead earlier this month. Now, we received more than 100 pages of investigatory documents today related to the Smith investigation. Our Tara Jabor read through every single page, found some differences of opinion.
I'm going to be reaching out to Tara Jabor because I feel like Tara's coming with it. And she's got like a 90s, I don't know, her blazer choices feel very 90s, very retro, and I mean that in a good way. Yesterday's blazer, I know I'm trying to be serious, but Tara Jabor, my eyes on you.
From experts. Tara, there seemed to be a discrepancy in the investigation of how Stephen Smith died?
Come on, Tara.
Hey, Dean, that's right. Experts seem to be at odds over the cause. And after talking to his mom, Sandra, yesterday, we wanted to take a closer look at what exactly happened the night that Stephen died.
Stacks of documents released to us show a flurry of back and forth in the investigation into Stephen Smith's death. We now know Highway Patrol found Smith's body on Sandy Run Road. What troopers didn't see was any evidence to show Smith had been hit by a car. Documents reveal no vehicle debris and no skid marks.
That's what Jessica, you said that yesterday.
Pointed to blunt force trauma to the head.
He does.
They said he was shot in the head.
Yeah.
And then it turned out it was a hit and run, and then he was beat up, and so the story just kept changing over and over.
So
documents also.
And when she's saying they, she means the police. The police, they keep lying.
Mapped out where Smith's car was found. That was 3 miles away from his body on Bamberg Highway. Highway Patrol found the keys in Smith's pocket, further adding to the mystery for Smith's family.
I'd be happy to see all this, laid out on the table, finding out who did it, why they did it.
Highway Patrol also sought more information after Smith's preliminary autopsy suggested that Smith was hit by a vehicle. An MUSC pathologist stated the victim was possibly struck by a motor vehicle mirror, which was the cause of death. Highway Patrol says there was no evidence to support that conclusion. Almost a month after this conversation in 2015, investigator Proctor spoke to the coroner about the final autopsy. In the report, Proctor said, quote, "He faxed me a copy of the report and told me that he does not agree with the pathologist, stating the victim was struck by a motor vehicle," end quote.
Now, also in these documents, it says, quote, the coroner stated he had made contact with an MUSC pathologist who said she would be willing to change her report to read however the coroner wanted it, end quote. Dean, another detail in all of this is that microscopic evidence collected from Smith's clothes did show blue paint chips. Highway Patrol couldn't link it to a vehicle or an object. As of now, a SLED office in the Midlands is once again investigating Smith's death.
Tara Jabor poured over hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents. AJ, over on Facebook, you said this is a clear example of how prestigious. Sorry, y'all.
Well, let's lock into that weather situation. Another beautiful day.
Okay, we get it. This ain't our weather, y'all. This the Queen City, so don't get hyped when you see this weather. But AJ, on Facebook, you said this is a clear example of how prestigious whiteness can be centered around whose character is allowed to be deconstructed by media. Absolutely. AJ, you went on to say this is the area where you're from. Okay, right up the road, Allendale. Okay. Thank you so much, AJ, for all your contributions. And thank y'all in the chat. Thank you for y'all for weighing in about the housing. I do know about the housing justice groups. I am aware. I'm aware of their work, and I am definitely a supporter of their work, especially with the DSA. They've joined the Friends of Gadsden Creek. I think on more than a couple of occasions, the housing justice folks have joined up and linked up with us because Friends of Gadsden Creek have created this relationship with some of the residents over at back in Gadsden Green projects. So I'm familiar through that. I guess I was asking more about. I'm sure they are trying to get folks connected to these resources. I think that's what I was trying to ask, was like, hey, are folks connecting with these resources? Because remember the reporting we watched on Twitch a few weeks ago about how folks were not taking advantage of the resources because there wasn't this like robust ad campaign promoting these resources and telling folks that they're available. So I guess that's my question, but I'm sure folks are connecting those in need with the resources. I don't doubt it. Let me hop out of here. Make sure you go and you check the infrastructure news as again, Cinema and Nancy Mace got something in common. They just trigger me. But I thought this was funny, right? So this photo right here, I thought it was funny because this is what yesterday this was made news or whatnot. And then someone peeped somebody in periwinkle over here. And why is Kamala like over here like just chill like
I don't know. This is where this is where I feel like Kamala is. She's got a shitty portfolio of like all the dirty work that's not sexy to handle. Like I feel that way. I feel like Kamala is being treated like, I think it's like an episode of Veep. I think she's got some like unsavory work that she has to commandeer, but who gets to be the face of bipartisanship? Who gets to be the face of compromise? Of course, Joe Biden and this cornball right here, this cornball, she made sure she was up front and wearing very loud colors. And I'm not against folks wearing bright colors, women wearing bright colors, but she's a joke. She's a joke. So yeah, that's what she looks like. And then, oh yeah, that movie's gonna be dope. This movie gonna be dope. The Harder They Fall, y'all. Regina King. That's all you need to know. That's gonna be dope. I'm not gonna play that. This picture I thought was really stunning. This was high tide last night. Lockwood. Y'all know how Lockwood be flooding around high tide. Don't even take no rain for it to flood. It's a gorgeous picture. But high tide, these are my likes. There's something I wanted to show y'all. What I want to show y'all? Not that bullshit about Jared and Ivanka. That fake shit. Where is it? Here it is, right here. My girl, Bree Newsom, abolished the Senate. And then look at this cornball tweet right here. So this is Tim Scott's comms person, Ken, right here. Right? Tim Scott scooting his way to votes is content. It's content. Excuse me. Senator Tim Scott scooting his way to votes is content we all needed on this Wednesday evening. I beg to differ. And where you go, he's not going to vote. Like, that's what everyone started pointing out, including our own Jamie Lovegrove. Says, why is he going to the House side if he's going to vote? So he's not. You just wanted to grab some content of him looking human and looking fun and whatnot, and you just framed it real stupidly. I thought that was funny. So, or as I've captioned it, on his way to the sunken place. But whatever. Yeah. Anyway, Kristen Sinema's dress is so unprofessional. You think it's unprofessional? No one asked for this content. You're right, Jessica. I think it just looks out of place. Like, I do think you can bring a flair to what you wear, right? I think you can bring a flair and not be so beholden to these because the rules about how women dress in Washington, we already know that's steeped in misogyny, steeped in a lot of bullshit that's not cool. Let me get off this loop of Tim Scott on a scooter. Lord have mercy. So I'm all for women, doing their thing, because they have to wear. What was the law? They had to wear stockings and shit. I say stockings. Wear pantyhose and whatnot. Like I'm over that. I'm over that. I'm gonna put this up. Look at which. That's more accurate. It's way more accurate. So I'm cool with it, but Kristen Sinema does everything for a reason. Everything she does is orchestrated and premeditated, and so I'm over it. I'm super over it. Yeah. You couldn't ride. He couldn't hide that dress, right? Put it in the. I got you. I know what you meant. Yeah, he does look stiff. He doesn't look. It doesn't human. I mean, he's a human being, but. Right. Anyway, it's just corny. It's corny. If she wasn't white, it'd be unprofessional. Right. I got you. Unprofessional in air quotes. She just needs to have. Yeah, I do think I think. See, that's the thing. So I'm not a big be expressive, have fashion sense, but make it make sense. Right. Like make it make sense. You just look like you just went to a picnic, and that's different. Like a summer dress, a sundress is different from another type of dress you could wear to work that's still colorful, still floral, and maybe flirty and whatnot. I think you can still pull it off, but she and Nancy Mace, they tend to go for things. They just make really weird choices around their shoulders. And I just want to say this: they crucified Michelle Obama when she was and you could sleeveless ain't a problem, but they crucified Michelle Obama for the things that Kristen Sinema and Nancy Mace do all the time. They damn near crucified Michelle Obama for having her arms out on a Vogue issue, right? So for being fit, right, being able to do push-ups on Ellen and all the other stuff. They just vilified her for that. All right, I'm gonna get out of here. It's 9 o'clock. This was like a really dope way to start my day. I really appreciate y'all. Let me get the Wiki Witch off here. The chat was everything. AJ, come more often. I know you have to work, bro. Come more often. Keep dropping stuff in the chat. Mev, it's so great to see you in the chat. Come as often as you can. I know you got your hands full. I really appreciate. I'm going to go back and revisit the chat. If I didn't get to engage with it directly, I'm sorry. But the chat is everything on Twitch today. Shout out to those who are supporting, by subscribing, by gifting subscriptions. It really does go a long way. When I tell y'all, every day I get a bill. It could be Zencaster for podcast audio. It could be MailChimp. It can be what else am I paying for? I have a translation system, like a software that I use. I've got subscriptions and things that I use to advance whatever messaging or create content. And I want to say thank you, because everything you give goes right back into the content. Y'all know I'm not living high on the hog, okay? I'm a very modest woman. I got an Altima. I drive an Altima. I don't mind disclosing that because it's my third Altima. I keep it real simple. So understand that, your contributions really do go right back into the work and it frees up things so I can invest in the work. So thank you so much. I hope y'all have a really good, their shoulders. I hope y'all have a really good weekend. Please get rest. Please make sure you check on a Black activist, specifically maybe a woman or a non-male, a femme. Check in on an organizer this weekend. Sometimes you don't even have to give anything. Just ask, you good? You good? You need anything? Do that. But I really appreciate this week was phenomenal and the support today was amazing. So take care. Have a great weekend. I will see you on Monday. All right. Bye.